No, enjoy the silence.
Oh, sorry.
Enjoy it.
Sorry, you're right.
Because that's what we did. We enjoyed the silence.
Martin Scorsese's passion project for the last 25 years, entitled Silence.
Mm-hmm.
Where to begin?
It's really hard.
It is very hard to begin.
It's really hard to begin.
The story is about these Portuguese Catholic priests that go to Japan in order to save another priest who has apostatized, which, for those of you who aren't religious or haven't seen the movie, means denounce their faith, because the Japanese has a regime going through right now that has illegalized Christianity. This takes place in, I think, the early to mid 1600s.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's essentially just their journey trying to find Father Ferreira, played by Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson's.
And, as I said before, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Which is really weird, because this didn't feel like the typical Martin Scorsese movie.
Not at all. This is like the least Martin Scorsese movie of all Martin Scorsese movies,
mm-hmm.
which is not a bad thing.
I didn't hear one single F word.
Not one. Essentially, Martin Scorsese's trademark is terrible people acting terribly. But this is good people acting in a way that they feel is good. Not going to get into the whole religious discussion or anything. They feel that they are doing the right thing. So it's the least Martin Scorsese-esque movie that he's ever made. And quite frankly, I found it very refreshing.
I did too.
I really enjoyed it. Growing up, my dad's a pastor, so I can really kind of connect with that, strength of faith thing. It sounds terrible. Like, believing in something so strongly that you are willing to die and let others die for it. Not that I feel most people today would be that way, because that's kind of what this whole story is about, is it right to let people die for your faith if they believe the same thing? Kind of the entire time the main priest, played by Andrew Garfield, is struggling with, should he save these people and apostatize and denounce his faith just to save these people? And it's a really compelling story. And so growing up in a Christian household, I can really kind of connect with that.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a movie where you have to have at least the slightest bit of respect for people who are religious. Not saying you have to believe what they believe, but you have to believe that it is their right to believe in what they believe, and also understand why someone might believe that. Otherwise, I could see it coming off as comical at some points.
Well, since you jumped into that, I shall say that I'm agnostic, but I grew up in a Christian family, and I respect people who have different religions, period. So going into this, I was not like, oh, this is going to be a Christian movie. No.
God's Not Dead 3, directed by Martin Scorsese.
No, you definitely have to have respect for other people's beliefs in, well, just going into this period.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Christianity, in my opinion. Martin Scorsese said it himself. He said that this is a movie about faith, and just Catholicism and Christianity is the vessel that drives that theme.
Mm-hmm.
The entire movie is about faith, whether it be Islam, Judaism, Buddhism. I don't even know if Buddhism... I don't know enough about Buddhism to know if faith is a factor. But regardless, the entire thing is about faith.
Yeah.
And you got to have respect for other people's faith in order to kind of understand it.
Yeah.
It was extremely hard to watch. The entire movie is pretty much about how the Japanese government in the 1600s tortures Christians until they denounce their faith.
Mm-hmm.
And just how belittling it is to force someone to go against everything they believe in just for your own laws or egos or whatever may have driven that.
And your own belief, period.
Your own belief, yeah. It's just, I found it at moments extremely powerful and extremely well acted. Especially, it's a primarily Japanese cast, which is awesome on Scorsese's part. He not that this is kind of out of the norm, but essentially, other than maybe 4 or 5 characters, everyone is Japanese, and they are really strong characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that has something to do, I'm assuming it has something to do with the novel, which was written by Shisaku Endo. If that's not it, either way, this is his name right here. I can't remember how to pronounce it because I'm stupid. But very strong and compelling characters in the Japanese cast, and I loved it.
Yeah, especially now, like, movies, everything seems whitewashed.
Oh,
so
that's an understatement.
Yeah, so definitely a movie like this definitely, like, had to be great for just the Japanese people in particular if they see this movie, which I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie was not easy to watch. I actually heard people crying in our theater.
Like, I heard sniffles.
Like,
I don't know if they were crying sniffles or
I
like I have right now.
Because it's just it's hard to watch.
Yeah, there's a scene in the trailer that it goes into more depth in the movie, obviously, where they are torturing Christians by strapping them to a cross and putting them in the ocean as the tide's rising, and that scene is extremely powerful and extremely hard to watch, and it's just phenomenal. It's
and there's so many more other torture scenes that are just really hard to watch.
And the thing I like about this movie, it doesn't glorify the torture like a lot of modern movies do, where it's like it thrives on the torture. It doesn't. In fact, it kind of. I got to the point where I was dreading every torture scene, and I feel like Martin Scorsese did that on purpose, where he wanted you to feel as they do, and not want it to come, and he succeeded in my opinion, because a lot of movies nowadays, especially like the Hostels and like all the horror movies, they glorify torture, and even Zero Dark 30 kind of glorified torture. Not going to get into the politics of that, but it kind of glorified the torture there. And it's not easy, no matter what you believe, watching a human suffer like that. So
and there was many different scenarios in this movie that had that, and none of them were even easy to watch at all.
Yeah.
Especially for Andrew Garfield, man. I'm sorry you had to watch all that. I'm actually going to go as far as to say I really hope Andrew Garfield is at least nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah. I mean, it's for him. It's either this or Hacksaw Ridge. I felt like he was stronger in this.
Yeah.
Granted, that's because the material was stronger.
Yeah, it was definitely stronger.
I hope that Yosuke Kubozuka, supporting actor, he really deserves it.
Yeah.
Adam Driver even deserves it. Everyone in this
I was really hoping Adam Driver would be in it a little bit more, but I totally understand why he wasn't.
Yeah.
But I was like, man,
he lost a lot of weight for it too.
All of them lost a lot of weight. The whole cast was entirely just skinny. I mean, it accurately depicts what it would have been like back then in the 1640s.
And also on their journey where they're not eating much anyway. Yeah. So it was just a good movie all around.
Yeah,
sound editing in it was really good too.
There was a part in the movie where the movie was just completely silent. The crowd was just extremely silent. And then I turned to like get into a more comfortable position, accidentally dropped my bottle of soda on the ground.
Ruined everything.
It was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life, and I felt like such a dick. I was like...
He was that guy. All right, well, you guys know our new rating system. For those of you who don't remember, bam, right there.
Holy crap.
So I'm going to definitely say see it. It's a great movie. I hope it gets some recognition this Oscar season.
It better, because it's definitely on my top 10.
Yeah.
Top 5, maybe.
Yeah. I have to think about it. It's definitely on top 10. I'm with you there. Top 5.
But yeah, for me, it's also definitely go see this movie. If you've got the stomach for it, at least.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hard watch.
Yeah, it is.
But I say see it anyway, even if you don't. Yeah. It's totally okay. Bring a barf bag.
Thanks for watching that video. If you click right here, that's going to be my last review, which was like 2 weeks ago for Jackie. It's been a while. Right there's going to be Thursday's video, which was our Throwback Thursday to Batman the Movie with Adam West and Burt Ward.
And right here is a subscribe button. Click that. Down below that is a like and dislike button. And below that is a comment section. Tell me what you guys, well, tell him too, about what you guys thought of this movie if you saw it, because it just came out. But, you know, boom.
Boom.